Welcome to Flash Tutorial Request 25 Sniper Attack, and this is a part 1. There's going to be a few parts. I've had many requests for sniper type games, and they all have things that are different, but they also have things that are the same, and I'm going to do these few videos based on what was similar to those requests. Going to make my width here 700 pixels wide on my stage by 450. I'm going to keep action script 3. Call this first layer background, BG. Now if you have any problems doing these videos and you want to get in touch with me, flashthingy@hotmail.com. The people are having trouble with the YouTube connections to Google+. So this first layer, background, to follow these tutorials, you have to be able to use the drawing tools. The pencil tool, the brush tool, the rectangular tool, you got to be able to use them. Put the stage down to about 50%. And on this stage, I have this for my background. Now you have to be able to do this. This represents like sand, and this represents the sky. So lock that layer. Insert a new layer. Call it back. B-A-C-K-B-L-D. Back buildings. And here draw a couple buildings. Again, you have to be able to draw. There's my 2 buildings I'm putting on this background. And just use my arrow keys. Lock that layer. Insert a layer, call it mid buildings, M-I-D-B-L-D, mid buildings. And here draw 2 more. Again, there they are, there's my buildings. I'm just going to move them around a little bit, overlap them like that. Pull this one back here a little bit. Lock that layer. And insert a new layer, near, N-E-A-R, B-L-D, as in the nearest or closest buildings. And on this layer, I have these 2. Arrange these anywhere you wish. I'm just going to go back here. Move them around a little bit. Yeah, pull this one down a little bit. And that last layer, I want this one. And that's what I'm going with. Make sure all the layers are locked. Select the top layer. Insert a layer. And call it BADG1A. Bad guy 1A. And right here, somewhere here, you make the stage larger. Draw your bad guy. And here's my bad guy. Sort of got this rifle and camouflage thing. Select this frame 1. Make sure you highlight this bad guy. Modify, convert it to a symbol. Make sure movie clip is selected. And call him BAD, capital G, as in bad guy 1A, underscore MC. Copy that name. And come up here while he's selected, see the blues around him, open this property panel, and in here paste this instance name. Close the property panel, lock all layers, insert a layer at the very top, call it action script, AS, select that bad guy layer again, insert a layer, call it scope, SCOPE, as in the case of your scope of your gun. Select that frame 1 of the scope and come here on your stage. Let's make our stage 50% and draw a scope. There it is. There it is. Crosshairs with a circle in it. Click on it. Select that cursor. Modify, convert it to a symbol. Make sure movie clip is selected. CURSOR_MC. Copy that name and open the properties panel and paste that in for an instance name. Lock all the layers. Select frame 1 of the actions layer, open the actions panel, and type in this code. Type. It's the code that allows the mouse arrow to turn into that scope crosshairs that we made. It says mouse period hide, capital M small h, that'll all turn blue, open close bracket semicolon, that hides the mouse, and this replaces it. Stage, STAGE, small s, period, add event listener, small a, capital E, capital L, that will all turn blue. Open bracket, mouse event, capital M, capital E, that will turn blue, period. Mouse underscore move, that mouse underscore move is all capitals. Then it goes back to the black. Comma, follow, FOLLOW. I'm just giving it that name. You could call it anything you want. Close bracket, semicolon, and this is the function. FUNCTION turns purple. We call it follow, FOLLOW. Open bracket, EVT, colon, mouse event, capital M, capital E, close bracket. There's the open curly bracket for this follow function. There's the closed curly bracket for this function. And in between them, cursor underscore MC, that's the movie clip we made, capital C, period X, that's its X coordinate, equals mouse X, small m, capital X this time. Semicolon, copy it and paste it in here, change the period X to period Y, those are our small letters, equals mouse Y, small m, capital Y, semicolon, and this probably came in automatically for you. And let's just see that this is working. And see, now I control this cursor scope thing. You can see that black square that moves around with my mouse. That's only because of this rendering program I'm using, and this will not happen to your actual FLA. Now we're back to that action script. Now we want something to happen when we click on that bad guy. So put a couple spaces here and type in this code. Type. It's an event listener just similar to this line, except it has to do with the mouse clicking. So it says stage, period, add event listener, small s, small a, capital E, capital L, all turns blue. Open bracket, this is another mouse event, capital M, capital E, period, but this is on the click. Up here it was on the move. Capital C, capital L, capital I, capital C, capital K, comma, I'm calling it click handler, close bracket, semicolon, and here is that function. Function turns purple, click handler, that's the name we give it, open bracket, EVENT, colon, mouse event, capital M, capital E, close bracket, colon, void. Void turns the same color as function. There's the open curly bracket for the function. Way down here is the closed curly bracket for the function. Inside these two curly brackets we have a test. And it says if, which turns purple, open bracket, cursor underscore MC, that's our crosshairs, period, hit test object, small h, capital T, capital O, that turns blue. Open bracket, that's that bad guy we made. Capital BAD, capital G, 1A, capital A, underscore MC, close bracket, close bracket. If we click on him, there's an open curly bracket. We want to trace This time we're just going to trace the word trace, open bracket, and in quotation hit bad guy 1A, close quotation, close bracket, semicolon, and there's another close curly bracket. So there's two closed curly brackets. Now when we click on them, we should trace that statement. So no errors. There's my cursor, and I'm on them and click, and when I do, I trace that statement. So instead of saying trace it and just making a trace statement, what we want to do when we hit him is we want him to, at this point, just disappear. So right here, we type in who he is, B-A-D, bad, G1A, bad 1A, underscore MC, period, his X coordinate equals 2, and we know this stage is 700 wide, so let's send him to about 2,000. And he's definitely with a semicolon. Now when we hit him, he's going to trace it, but he's also going to completely disappear by scooting way off here to the right somewhere. That's just one way of doing it. Bang, he's gone. Okay, let's go back to the main timeline. Now let's make some modifications to this guy. Let's have him shooting some bullets at us. So open your library panel, open this bad guy movie clip, and let's make him about 15 frames long. Right here, insert a keyframe, and let's call this bad guy. Bad guy, that's what's on that frame. And let's insert a layer, and let's call this his shoot, S-H-O-O-T, as in shooting his gun. And halfway up here around frame 7, insert a keyframe, and right here in front of him I want you to draw something that looks like this. Okay, see it? Now I want to give you a quick idea on how I did that. I went over here to this rectangle tool, clicked here in the corner, and picked up the polystar tool. See, I have a polystar tool. That's what it looks like. And on that polystar tool, if I open the properties panel, it has some options. Here they are here. See, tool settings, options. Click on it, and I want to pick star. Pick star, and I think I got like 10 sides on it, something like that. 10. Okay. And I drew it like that. Then I made another one. I changed the colors here. I went to maybe a different color here and a different color here, and I drew another one. And I picked that one up and basically put it inside like that. And that's how I made mine. Just give you some idea. Let me erase that. And that I put on frame 6 or 7, something like 7. Go up here, there it is, very large. Convert this to a keyframe. It's a keyframe. Let me change that. Come back here, click on it, pick up the free transform tool, and I can see I have it. Holding my shift down, I'm making it very small. And then I'm picking up my selection tool and putting it right in front of them like that. Click in here, create a classic tween. So now I have this. It's raising a little bit, so I'm just going to select it and drop it down with my arrow keys, and that might, yeah, I don't mind that. That's his gun going up and down. So now let's test this movie and see what he looks like. Now he's shooting at us. Now if you want him to shoot faster, just click in here, highlight some frames like that, right click, remove frames, click in here, highlight like that, remove frames, and now he's going to shoot a lot faster. But we can still shoot him, and bang, he disappears. And I think that's enough for this video. I don't want to make these too long. There's going to be definitely a follow-up. It'll be Flash Tutorial Request 26 Sniper Attack Part 2. We'll show you some different ways to bring the snipers in and how to have them move around on the stage a little bit. Hope you learned something from this tutorial, and I hope you use what you learn.